Friday, the final edition of the Slate Starter Podcast for this week. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down a 9-game Friday NBA DFS slate. I said Friday twice. I don't really care. I'm on tilt. Emmanuel quickly. Oh my gosh. So I wasn't nearly as convinced as everybody else in the industry that he was going to get the minutes. And he only played 16 minutes until the blowout, and then he played blowout time the last 3 minutes of this game, finishing at 19 or 20, depending on what the box score person ends up giving him. I cannot believe how well he's great. I think he's a phenomenal player. I just don't trust Tibbs, and I didn't trust him to get the minutes, so I was much higher on Alec Burks and Derrick Rose, who are proven commodities. How did you handle the Knicks situation, and are you as tilted as what I am?
I'm not as tilted as you. I was pretty shocked to see his ownership come up north of 30% on both sites when everything settled down. Even after the Boban news, I figured people were going to try to find a way to spend up, because I think that was decision point. If you're playing Boban, that gives you flexibility to spend up for guys like Giannis, Jokic, on DK especially. And maybe if you wanted to pay up for guards like Harden and Beal, that definitely gave the flexibility to do that. And now, obviously, he performed exceptionally well in the time given. I was very high on Derrick Rose, but I didn't expect quickly to outscore Luka Doncic. If you were to tell me to do this slate again, I don't think that'll ever happen if you were to do this slate 100 times again.
Nope. I hope Jokic goes for 100 tonight. That's all I'm going to say, because that could save my night a little bit. I do have like maybe 5% quickly on both sides. So if I end up baking something and you hear me whining about this, I apologize. I'm just like 6x under the field, and it hurts a lot. He's a phenomenal basketball player. So 4,100 on DK, I understood it. I just couldn't do it at that ownership that we were projecting him for. But we move on to Friday. This is probably going to be the most painful NBA DFS slate for me of the year, if it all holds the way that it looks right now. Go Bobby Portis. That's all I got for you. Let's get to it. Before we get started, get to that bottom bar. Hit the like button. Definitely hit the subscribe button. That goes a long way for us. More than just about anything else you can do, other than joining Awesemo.com, of course. But hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you know when this and all the other content at Awesemo goes live. You ready to get rolling, my dude?
Let's do it.
So we've got another nice 9-gamer on tap for tomorrow. I mean, this is going to be our third 9-gamer, or have we had 4? What was Monday's slate? Was that 9 as well? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we've had multiple 9-gamers this week for sure.
It's probably been the best week of slates I can recall, and we haven't had like one of those massive 12, 14 gamers that can randomly show up too in the middle of a week and really put a stop to it. But LeBron James, 10,700. Lakers are just not playing very good. I definitely hammered home the Utah ticket. I loved Utah against the Lakers. I was shorting the Lakers completely, just about every way that I could the other night, and they did not disappoint. They disappointed, but that was good for me. LeBron James, 28 minutes last time out, 43 against Washington, but God, he's got to do everything for this team, and now he's actually in a doable matchup. He's up against Portland at home. I expect some crazy fireworks out of that game for the most part. LeBron James is probable. He's got the Q tag next to him as he always does, but definitely a big fan of getting as much exposure to him as possible. Damian Lillard, 10,100, same games, same situation. This is not the Los Angeles Lakers team with Anthony Davis on defense. They've been much worse defensively. I've enjoyed targeting them in some spots, and so Damian Lillard, 10-1, fire him up. Trae Young, not even up to 10K yet. All he does is produce. If it wasn't for the blowout against Boston, he would have smashed that tag, so I'll definitely have interest against a worse Oklahoma City team. And then Steph Curry, going up against Charlotte, his hometown team, coming to Golden State, though, so I guess that doesn't really matter. No narrative there. 9,700. Talk to me about the top end of point guard.
Yeah, obviously LeBron James leads the way over there. I think it definitely has to be a first kind of like a first look. Definitely stands out. I think you want to probably project him as one of the highest scoring players on the slate, if not the highest, especially against this Portland matchup. I like LeBron 10-7. I think maybe people shy away from his performances of late. Performance last time. I think we can definitely consider LeBron James. No questions asked. I like a little game stack. If we find enough value to play both of these guys, LeBron and Lillard, I think that's definitely a great option over there in DK. A 9-game slate, I'm not really entailed to game stack heavily, but definitely those two guys definitely stand out. Lillard, Young, Curry. There's some nice savings to go to Steph Curry. all the way down at $9,700. He's going to be taking on LaMelo Ball on the other side. LaMelo Ball has been very impressive. It was very impressive against this tough tough Phoenix team last time out. Still managed a way to put north of 40 fantasy points. Took only 11 shot attempts. I expect more shot volume from LaMelo, but he just finds a way to pick up so many other stats, fills up the box score in so many different ways. What's what makes him such a great rookie? Other options, obviously on FanDuel, we got 10-3 for Lillard, 10K for Curry, 9-6 for Trae Young. I like Trae Young versus Oklahoma City. I think he's I went to school at OU. Maybe some friends and family might be able to attend the game to watch, and maybe he shows out for that reason. I like Trae Young at the 9,600 price tag versus OKC. Other mid-tier options, I think Brogdon versus Boston at 8K. I like that. It's like kind of a floor play. There's an upside within him for sure. I believe Memphis will be taking on Clippers on a back-to-back again. John Morant was disappointing yet again today, I think, but I think they are beating the Clippers as we speak, and he's not
murdering the Clippers. Murder is the word.
Yeah, so he's not the reason why. I think he's only got 23 fantasy points from what I'm looking at right now. So John Morant, 7,200. That's a nice price tag. And I think De'Aaron Fox versus Detroit, sign me up. I think he can definitely feast in that matchup over there on FanDuel. I like that price tag quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm liking all these spots for the most part in this mid-range. I mean, I think point guard generally tends to be a very strong position. This is no exception to it. Halliburton is playing gigantic minutes. Looked great again tonight against the Knicks. I didn't see what those minutes ended up being, but had to be a lot. I felt like he was playing most of that every time I was turning it on because I was rotating through League Pass, and it seemed like he was on the court the entire game, even though I know he doesn't start. But Halliburton just looks good right now, man. I really like getting to him. 6,600 over on DK. I expect him to be kind of contrarian. Maybe not. I don't know what that final box score ended up being. And on back-to-backs, we always see people kind of chasing what just happened. So I definitely still have some interest there. We got to look at this Houston situation again now, too. I mean, there's really nobody that's in play there outside of John Wall. 8,200. It seems like a big number, but Toronto has had some faster paced games of late. He's been very, very bad the last two. I feel like he could be like a 1-2% kind of guy to take some shots on. I was very surprised. M. Scherer was very high on him, even if Gordon and Oladipo were going to be back last game. So it's kind of a situation like with Kyle Lowry where the price tag still wasn't elevated. Obviously, he's more expensive than what I was investing for Kyle Lowry in that spot the other night. But I could definitely go to John Wall as like a low owned tournament pivot. You kind of have those all over in this range, so it's not going to be anything special. The one guy we got to bring up, because all he does is put up fantasy points and nobody plays him. Actually, no, everybody plays him on planet Earth. Saban Lee, Dennis Smith Jr., now playing the Sacramento matchup. They get this unbelievable matchup, and not only that, but it's an unbelievable matchup on a back-to-back. Saban Lee is still only 4,300 over on DraftKings, so I expect him to be super popular. We saw Dennis Smith Jr., he's at 4,600. He got up to 26 minutes and put up 31.75. Do you have a lean on one of the two? Because I do expect them to be popular.
It was nice to see Dennis Smith Jr. play north of 20 minutes. Obviously, no Jeremy Grant, maybe some extra minutes sprinkled onto him. I think we can take shots with both of them, honestly. I think there are pathways for both of them getting there. If their ownership's going to come in low, I think definitely a way to get unique with their roster construction. And the matchup is definitely in their favor. We just saw what the Knicks backcourt did to this Kings team. Not saying Saban Lee and Dennis Smith Jr. are Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickley, but there's definitely a path for a huge upside within those two guys, especially at their salary.
Sorry, my allergies are just so bad lately. The last 2 weeks, I just keep rubbing my nose. I mean, it's just been bad, so I apologize if I end up out of it. Definitely not doing cocaine, let it be known. Going to the top end of shooting guard, we got Zach LaVine, 9,600 up against Phoenix. Tougher matchup. This isn't the Phoenix team that we were looking to target of maybe 2 years ago. Even last year, they had a lot of fast-paced games we were looking at. Zach LaVine, definitely a spot where the volume can still get there, but an elevated price tag over on DraftKings. Probably going to be a pass. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander up to 8,800 now gets this Atlanta matchup. Coming off his probably best game of the season, and I don't think it's remotely close. I believe 42 real-life points. My computer would go 61 fantasy points. Is that good? That seems like something you might want to identify in your lineup. So at 8,800, I'll still have some interest there, even though that's a big, big number to be paying for him. Jaylen Brown and the disappointing Boston Celtics, they can't get right. I'm expecting these Celtics to play some big minutes against Indiana. I don't know. Between Tatum and Brown, they've just looked awful of late. Of course, the one major concern you have to have is that Kemba Walker will be back. That might just be too much to be paying for Jaylen Brown or Tatum in this spot, but I do kind of see them in a close game, just letting these guys have free reign and trying to let them go out and win a couple games before the break. And I'll group in Paul George. They're going to be on a back-to-back. We'll see if Paul George and Kawhi end up playing. You might end up getting some Clippers value. We'll see. I bet they rest a couple guys between Beverly, between George and Leonard. They've all been on the shelf as of lately. So I do expect we might get some value there. Playing Memphis back-to-back nights, getting murdered tonight. Talk to me about the top end of shooting guard.
Yeah, obviously, looking on the FanDuel side of things, you got Levine, 9.8, SGA, 8K. It's a nice savings off of SGA, $1,800 savings. Shout out to Zach Levine, who put up more real life points than he did fantasy points. So and he
that's so hard to do. That's so hard.
I think it's so hard to do when you put up 35 fantasy points. That's like crazy. But taking on this Phoenix matchup, I'm not too excited to play him. He hasn't played Phoenix well. I want to say he's never had more than 40 fantasy points in his career versus Phoenix. And it's like obviously a new Phoenix team, a new Phoenix scheme that they're running with Monty Williams, but I'm not looking forward to playing Zach Levine at $9,800. I do like taking chances with SGA. $1,800 savings, pretty solid. Let's see what happens in this Clippers situation. If Kawhi is out, PG, let's go, lock and load. I think PG 13 is definitely a great play if Kawhi doesn't play, and he's going to be pretty low owned if Kawhi is ruled in. So there's definitely a merit for that. And in the mid tier, shout out to Buddy Hield, who sucks at basketball, but that price tag $5,800.
You finally admit it. This is great. This is 1-0 Eric. Actually, that's not true. It's like 84-1 Rinpack, but still, continue.
But I think Buddy Hield can definitely be in play and light up this Detroit defense. So I will be taking some shots on Buddy Hield, and I don't think it'll take much to get over the field with him. Over there on DraftKings, lots and lots of options. Obviously, everyone seems to be priced correctly. I think everyone, there's not like a pricing mistake really to me. Maybe the first guy who sticks out to me in terms of prices, as crazy as it sounds, it might be Andrew Wiggins at 6,200. I just went down the whole list. Maybe Devin Booker versus Chicago is the other guy, 8K. I think that's the other guy who sticks out to me. But everyone else seems pretty priced appropriately, at least in the upper tier. Going down, if you want to spend down a little bit, it's tough. No one really stands out to me in terms of their prices. Keep in mind with what happens in the Lakers starting lineup. If they rule Caruso as a starter or Talon Horton-Tucker a starter, I will have interest in one of those guys.
I don't even know where to go with this. So Andrew Wiggins and Buddy Hield. First of all, I thought we turned a corner just a second ago with Buddy Hield, and you went right back to the well. I'm turning you in to the addiction specialists. I don't really know what to say. And then Andrew Wiggins in the mid-tier. No to both of those. I'd rather play Josh Jackson on FanDuel for $5,700. I would rather take some shots on Jordan Clarkson, who only played 23 minutes. They murdered the Lakers. I know that they're back to healthy, but there's at least a ceiling there, $5,600. I would rather play Gary Trent, $5,500, who hasn't been necessarily playing great of late, but now gets the Lakers in a game that I expect to be moving a little bit more than probably what the total will display. Oh, my Lord. Kevin Huerter, I would rather play, $5,300. 27 minutes against Boston, but again, that was a blowout. Eric Gordon, $5,300. We'll see. I think that's just too low of a tag for a guy who's scoring dependent. I think there's a ceiling there still. Dylan Brooks ended up playing. So you think
all those guys outscored Buddy Hield and Andrew Wiggins?
All of them. Okay. So let's get some skin on it for the weekend. I'm excited for this. All right. So $10, because I'm a peasant. So $10 for you get Buddy Hield and Andrew Wiggins. Okay. I get 3 guys below them. I will take 3, and whoever gets the most fantasy points wins. I get 3 guys way down here. Go ahead and pick anybody you want that is going to be active above Cam Reddish on FanDuel? Give me 3 of them.
Above Cam Reddish's salary. So
yes.
Cam
Reddish is 4,500. He's a game time decision. So not Cam Reddish, but give me anybody above him and then below Buddy Hield. You're not going to give me Josh Jackson. I know that. So that's unfortunate.
I'll give you Jeremy Lamb.
Okay. Gee, thank you so much for taking literally the stone cold worst guy there. But here, go ahead. I'll take him and Ingles. You're going to give me Ingles and Allen. You're just going to give me the 3-4K guys, aren't you?
I'll give you Lou Dort.
No, I said above. He's below, dude.
Okay. Oh, he's below.
Yeah.
I'll give you. You want Jordan Clarkson?
I do want Jordan Clarkson. Thank you. He's going to win the day. He's going to beat. Okay, I'll just take Jordan Clarkson and then. I'll take Jordan Clarkson, Jeremy Lamb, and then give me Ingles, 4,800.
4,800 for Joe? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or Grayson Allen, because there's a chance at least that, that Dylan Brooks could sit out the second half of this back-to-back after he got ruled in last second today.
Yeah, I'll give you Allen.
Okay,
that's fine.
So I've got Allen, Lamb, and Clarkson, and you've got Wiggins and Buddy Hield. And it's just whoever scores the most points. One player to rule them all. I have the highest ceiling. Thank you so much for your $10, sir. This is going to be a fun sweat tomorrow. Screw my however many hundreds of dollars of DFS action. I need to win this $10 so badly.
Viewers, please comment who you think is going to win this head-to-head matchup.
Yeah, I repeat, Wiggins and Hield versus... hang on, I just freaking clicked out of it. Come on. So Hield and Wiggins, we obviously know those. And then Clarkson, Allen, and Lamb. Those are the 3, right? All right, here we go. After this little choreographed dealio, this was not choreographed whatsoever. You can't make that up. Small forward, go over to awesemo.com/joinNBA. Take a look at all of the lovely packages that we have over there. We had DeColts sitting out there, giving the people the goods today over on the strategy show. Projections have been spot on. Boom bust tool I talk about pretty much every single day on the tip-off show, almost ad nauseum. So definitely check that out as well, because best tools in the industry, why wouldn't you use them? I was able to get leverage on certain guys, not one Emmanuel Quickly, who I believed was overowned, but such is life. I love the boom bust tool. I pretty much use that every single day, whether I'm building one lineup to enter in some of the bigger contests or whether I'm doing 20 max, 150 max. It is the best tool out there available to a DFS player. So hop over to awesemo.com/joinNBA, check it out, and stop guessing and start winning. We'll start over on FanDuel. We've been DraftKings heavy so far. So LeBron James 10,500, Kawhi Leonard 9,700. If we get a Paul George rest, which I'm kind of thinking is better than 50-50, 9,700 Kawhi. After having played limited minutes today, I guess he got up to 30 maybe. I didn't see what it finished up at, but I know for a fact that I will have a lot of interest in him there. Jimmy Butler 9,200, tough Utah matchup. Every time anybody plays Utah, it's going to be a tough matchup, but he just got done winning another slate. He's had multiple 60 plus since coming back from COVID. I believe two games of that, a couple over 50. Coming off a streak of 4 where he was going underneath 48 on FanDuel, but 61.6 is a nice number there. Pascal Siakam, 8,800 up against this bad Houston team that is giving up points in the paint. Pretty easy to score at the rim right now when you have nobody who's above 6'6", it seems like. And then Jaylen Brown, 8,400. No thank you. Talk to me about small forward.
Yeah, on FanDuel, you're going to like LeBron James, 10-5. Hopefully there's enough value to find him and play him comfortably. If Kawhi plays, I think going back to Kawhi off a disappointing game, I'm for it. I think the ownership will be go, and it'll be unique to fade LeBron. I think LeBron will be very popular tomorrow, regardless if there's any value or not. I think a lot of projection systems and models are going to like him quite a bit versus this Portland matchup. Other options to consider, I like Gordon Hayward, $7,100 versus Golden State quite a bit. And I think another option to consider in terms of a value, Harrison Barnes just put up north of 40 fantasy points today. I don't think that'll happen again, but he definitely showed what's in his bag, and it's a Detroit matchup that I'm not scared of whatsoever. Jaylen Brown, I think he can definitely bounce back. I think that's someone we can target. Sadiq Bey, $5,100. He's playing north of 30 minutes. The guy's been an impressive three-point shooter. It's been early in his career. We'll see what else he develops in his game. I haven't really got to watch much of Piston basketball. It's not a team that I go out of my way to watch. But there's some now, the young guys are getting some run. Maybe it'll be interesting to see what he can do versus this tasty Kings matchup. Outside of that, I think Kelly Oubre's overpriced, 7,500. I like saving the 400 to Gordon Hayward. Jimmy Butler has been so consistent since he's come back from the injury. He's playing with the chip on his shoulder. He needs this Miami team to get back in the playoff hunt of things. They're playing better basketball since everyone's come back from the health and safety protocols. But Jimmy Butler, 9,200. I think he'll be very, very low owned just because of the options of LeBron James, Jaylen Brown, even Pascal Siakam. I think in terms of ownership, he will be one of the lowest owned guys at the small forward position with upside pretty high. So over there in DK, I think leading off on the small forward spot, obviously LeBron's got the 10-7 will be definitely popular. Tatum, 9,300 after he disappointed a huge amount of people the other time. So a lot of people are disappointed in Tatum. I think we can go right back to him. Kawhi Leonard is coming $9,100. I like that price tag for Kawhi if he goes. Maybe PG's the one out and Kawhi's the one who gets to run. I think we can definitely go to Kawhi. Jeremy Grant, 7,300 versus Sacramento. Sign me up. Obviously didn't play last time. Came off took a rest. So I really like going to Jeremy Grant versus Sacramento. I think he could put up his ceiling. It could be north of 50 fantasy points versus his Kings matchup. I think Gordon Hayward, $6,700. I like that versus Golden State quite a bit. Other guys to consider in the mid tier. Let's see who stands out in the.
You've got quite a few.
I mean, you're interested versus his former team, 5K coming off a 10-12 3-point game. How do you feel about Danilo Gallinari?
Yeah, well, you're going to see him higher owned than the 1% I got him at coming off of his dud. I had about 25%. I should have won everything, and I had some other mistakes that I made. Such is life at NBA DFS. God, manual quickly today. I'm going to get over it eventually during the show. But yeah, there's that nice mid-tier. I really do like a lot of those guys sitting not Buddy Hield, but on DraftKings, 6,700 Hayward I expect to be popular. Jeremy Grant might be my favorite play over there. At 7,300. I love this Kings matchup. Harrison Barnes, that was kind of blasphemous. The guy's had some big ceiling games. I don't think he gets necessarily the recognition he deserves for actually having a ceiling. Part of it is that the minutes, right out of the gate, you saw 36 against Brooklyn. So I was happy to invest today against New York again. Obviously, first game back didn't look fantastic. And I was happy to go back to him there against New York because I do know that those minutes will continue to just kind of be there. I would say that there's also a chance that they might rest him considering he just got back from injury. So look for some Daquan Jeffries season if such things were to occur. Anybody else you want to bring up or you want to keep going?
Let's keep going.
Yeah, let's do it. So we got power forward sitting up here on the top end. Domantas Sabonis, 9,900. He was absolutely smashing in the first half against Golden State. He absolutely did not smash in the second half. Went down to 50.2. We'll kind of see what that ownership comes in at. I love his ceiling. I love his ability. Going up against Boston, I have no issues getting to a little bit there, but that is a big price tag to pay for him over there. I know his tag is 10-4 on DraftKings. God, that is just absurd. So that's probably a no. Jason Tatum, 9,400 up against Indiana. Coming off of maybe, I don't know, the lowest floor we've seen from a stud above 9K in a long time. 20.7, 13 points, was like 2 for 10 from 3. Just an overall garbage performance by the Celtics in general. Hopefully they can start to right the ship because I think basketball is a lot more fun with the Celtics being relevant, but God, that was terrible. Bam Adebayo, right now, he's questionable going into Friday, so it could be Kelly Olynyk season. You could see a little Precious Achua. A lot of options still for Miami there. Could get some nice value here at power forward if he ends up sitting. Talk to me about power forward.
Yeah, I think talking about this Boston Celtics team, they sorely miss Marcus Smart. He's the glue to this team. And obviously that guy is really, they miss his absence quite a bit. Sabonis, let's talk about Sabonis. Being left off the All-Star team, I was shocked. He was putting up amazing numbers. I thought he deserved a spot on the All-Star team. But obviously the All-Star team always doesn't have enough spots. We can talk about that for days. But Jason Tatum, $9,400. Bam Adebayo, $8,900. I think I'll be excited to go back to Tatum after he disappointed people. And recency bias is a real thing in DFS. I believe Al Horford is out tomorrow. I think we can go to Isaiah Roby, Darius Baisley, both power forward options on FanDuel. I think we can definitely consider both of them for sure. If I believe Hassan Whiteside is still not playing due to health and safety protocols issues, I think that could open up potential extra minutes from Marvin Bagley. I think he was on his way to 30 minutes potentially if this game did not blow out.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we can take some shots with him. But Jeremy Grant, $7,600. I like that price tag versus Sacramento on the other side of things. Definitely, we can take our chances with him. And that kind of rounds up the power forward spot. There are a lot of good mid-tier options and spend-up options as well. I think Tatum and Sabonis lead the way over there. Over there in DK on DraftKings, in the power forward spot, we got Sabonis, Tatum, Siakam, Grant. I like Grant, obviously. I think that price tag is tough to ignore. Gordon Hayward has power forward eligibility, like I mentioned earlier. Definitely a solid option. Keep in mind with the Memphis back-to-back, maybe someone rests in the front court. Could open up minutes for maybe a Clark or Tillman, or maybe Justice Winslow gets some extra run at the 4. Who knows? I'd be shocked if he plays on the back-to-back just because he's been away from basketball for so long.
And you've got Saddiq Bey questionable. Last guy to throw out there. Isaiah Stewart. He's power forward eligible, 4,600 on FanDuel. Like less than zero interest if Saddiq Bey plays. But if you were to sit out, that's definitely a guy that you can go to at the power forward position on FanDuel. Let's round this thing out here. Top end to center. We'll go back to DraftKings. Domantas Sabonis, 10-4 up there. You got Anthony Davis out. You got Bam Adebayo questionable. You got Wood out. It's a big jump. You go from Sabonis 10-4 to Siakam 7,900 is the next listed center. He's power forward and center eligible over there, 7,900. Capella 7,800. We're seeing him in Collins. I mean, those minutes just got limited. Obviously, it was a blowout. He still got to 27.25, 9 points, 9 rebounds. Truly been a double-double machine though most of the year. Rudy Gobert now down to 7,200. Again, I repeat, I keep saying it over and over again. Rudy Gobert is great, but also Derek Favors is like the best backup center, I believe, in the NBA. And those minutes, there's just no minutes upside that exists there. And Favors has been playing really, really well, putting up good fantasy box scores in 16, 18 minutes, basically. And, you just want to see Gobert get to 35 minutes. If you could do that, I would just slam in 7,200 against Miami with no Bam, but still might have a little bit of interest there. We'll take a look later. And then Draymond Green, 6,900, kind of a different Draymond Green of late. Triple-double upside pretty much every time he touches the court right now. 6,900, under 7K against Charlotte. Sign me up. Actually, I can't believe I'm saying that. Much better than your Buddy Hield take, Draymond Green take. Go ahead and give me one.
I like Draymond Green. I've been well over the field the last 2 games out. He's coming sub 10%, and he's done well. North of 45 fantasy points at that salary will do it again for you. So I like taking my chances with Draymond Green. Over there in center, obviously, Capella, Gobert, Ayton versus Chicago. I'll take my chances. I think he played Chicago earlier. Yeah, not earlier this year, but he has done well against Wendell Carter, I think, when he's given the chance. He's been disappointing the last 2 games out. There was a stretch when Booker was gone. He played well. And I think I like targeting DeAndre Ayton quite a bit. I think Mason Plumlee versus Sacramento, I think we can take our chances there. Plumlee finds a way to be a pretty effective facilitator on offense. He picked up 7 assists last game. Triple-double watch for Plumlee could be happening against Sacramento throughout the night tomorrow. So I think that's definitely in place. It's interesting. There's not a true stud on FanDuel. No one is priced above 10K, so you can mix and match with some of your options. Enes Kanter, 6,300. Keep in mind, no Anthony Davis. I think we can ride Enes Kanter versus this Lakers team, and especially if he's going to play north of 35 minutes. I like that price tag quite a bit for Kanter. Over there in DraftKings, let's see the center prices. Who sticks out? DeAndre Ayton, 6,800. Kanter, 68. I like that. Plumlee, 65 is pretty solid. And we know what Miles Turner can do with blocks at 6K. And Montrezl Harrell. I like Montrezl Harrell. I believe he'll find a way to get north of 25 minutes versus this Portland matchup. And there's a real upside for Montrezl Harrell tomorrow if he goes. So I would definitely be trying to get over the field on Montrezl Harrell at 5,800 on FanDuel as well.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk, I think, would be the guy kind of at 4,400 should Bam sit. We don't know how any of that is going to play out. I know that it's a terrible matchup up against Gobert, but he kind of does the one thing Gobert doesn't do, which is shoot threes. Or, excuse me, the thing that Gobert doesn't defend as well, a perimeter shooter. So I wouldn't mind going to Kelly Olynyk and taking some shots there at 4,400. Making our way, the one thing I do want to say about Ayton, I would have a lot of interest. I think I'm going to have a little Ayton no matter what, but I would have a lot more interest should Dario Saric end up sitting. He's been playing the backup 5. He's questionable entering tomorrow. If he sits, they've shown that they're not going to play Jalen Smith this year. Like, I think he played, was it 16 minutes on like opening night or something ridiculous? It was something like that. And since then, I don't think he's played like a minute. I can't recall him being on the floor in any Phoenix game that I've watched in like meaningful minutes. I'm sure he's played garbage time, but Dario Saric does play the backup 5 there. Frank Kaminsky only plays about those 12 minutes, so DeAndre Ayton could play 35 to 40 minutes if Dario Saric sits. Thought I'd just point that out because I think that's a big underrated piece of news on this slate. When you have to win the center position on FanDuel, I just thought I would point that specific thing out. 7K Mason Plumlee, Miles, his brother who is awful at basketball. Mason Plumlee, 7K up against Sacramento. We've seen some of these bigs just annihilate Sacramento down low. There's no Whiteside out there to go do anything. I believe he's going to be questionable coming into tomorrow, but still he's not going to play much, I'm sure. Bagley, game time decision. Not game time decision, but like just going to be ineffective against Mason Plumlee, should I say. So sign me up for a little bit of that too. I don't really have anything else there for center. It's kind of pretty gross compared to what it's been on a slate like today, for sure. Do you have anything to finish out for the weekend? We have the weekend here. Make sure you're still checking out the content and everything. Sorry, I'm just hyper and / upset at Emmanuel quickly. Why don't you close this out? I'll settle down. I'll take a timeout.
No, thanks so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys had a great DFS week, and hopefully you guys finish strong heading into tomorrow. So thanks so much for tuning in. Go Buddy Hield, go Andrew Wiggins, and hopefully I get $10 from Eric.
I mean, there's got to be nothing better than you could aspire for than $10 from me. Screw winning everything on Super Draft, FanDuel, and DraftKings. All you want is my $10. Guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.